just a boy. Christmas brought so much joy. Couldn't wait for the presents and laughter. I couldn't sleep late at night, looking for Santa with lights. Those are the memories I still remember. Then I became a man, lost sight of who I am. But right in front of me was the answer. 'Cause on Christmas I feel joy, and I turn back to a boy. The answer is to stay young forever. This is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song.
Hello, Star Wars fans. Hey, you know there's just 125 days until Christmas 2023. Oh, and happy Tano Tuesday. I heard somebody say that. Ahsoka Tano Tuesday, just 9 hours from the premiere of Season 1 of Ahsoka, hopefully of at least 2 seasons, maybe 3, 4, I don't know. But any event, thank you all for being here. I see many of our friends, even Rob Sketchcraft is here. Rob, thank you for being here. Nick, Brandon, Matt Risman, the one and only Matt Risman. Thank you, Moff Risman, for being here. We've got lots of friends, Brian Stone, RF Gaming, Baymax, Q Bello. Hey, Quentin's in the house. Good to see you as well. We've got a lot of friends, and we're gonna just a couple of channel things first. Let me cover the nonsense first, right? We are getting back to a regular streaming schedule to the best of my ability. So we took a bit of a break through the summer. I had some work things going on, and vacations and traveling and all kinds of fun, and also not fun. But in any event, with the premiere of Ahsoka tonight, we want to return back to a regular streaming schedule. Nikki, oh, I love you too. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much. So we're going to go back to more of a regular streaming schedule. Tuesdays, we will do this. We'll do preview for the upcoming show, preview and predictions. And then I'm changing up what we're doing on Wednesdays. Because Disney Plus had been releasing all these shows in the middle of the night, or if you're Amish, first thing in the morning, like 3 a.m. And I've got a story about that I'll tell you here in a second. But I would not do a live stream of a watch party. I would instead do a watch party when I got up in the morning, a more reasonable time, like 7 a.m. Eastern, 7:30 a.m. Eastern, something like that. But I plan now, since they're coming out on Tuesday evenings at a reasonable hour, I'm going to try to watch the show with my wife on Tuesday evenings, 9 p.m. Eastern, and so we can enjoy it together. Then on Wednesdays, I'll do the regular show, like this time of day, 12:30, something like that. That's hilarious. 12:30 Eastern, we'll do a rewatch breakdown, and we'll score the predictions. So we'll do a discussion of the show from the night before. It'll be a rewatch for me, for many of you, when we'll go through the episode together and talk about it without needing to catch it for the first time. Then Thursdays, I'm going to try to do community streams where you guys can call in and give me your thoughts. What do you think of the latest episode or episodes? Or we'll do a Guardians of the Wills where we have a predetermined topic and specific guests that we have invited. And then Fridays we'll continue to do the news of the week, the Star Wars Weekend Review, where my friend Jason Ward from Making Star Wars, uh, Star Wars Meg, and even this guy, Rob, from the Making Star Wars show, but Sketchcraft, says, be honest, Santa, spent the summer cornering the market on Kung Fu action grips. Oh, they used to have there was like GI Joe with Kung Fu action grip, right? 120 something days till he cashes in. Oh, hilarious! Leia Rose, good to see you as well. Thank you so much. So Fridays we'll do a weekend review where I'll have some of my friends, Bespin Bulletin, uh, Jason Ward, Rob, Star Wars Meg, whoever it might be from week to week. So that'll be our regular schedule, Tuesdays through Fridays. On Mondays, if something big happens or I've got nothing else to do, or what, I joke, we may do a live stream. But I try to reserve Mondays because there's 3-day weekends, holidays, and I do, if you're a channel member, just at $1 a month here on YouTube, become a member, or on Patreon, even better. Patreon doesn't take as much of your money and gives it to your content creator. So if you want to support content creators on YouTube, the very best way you can do that is on Patreon, because YouTube takes more of your money and doesn't give it to the content creator. Patreon takes less of your money and gives it to your content creator. So if you are just a member at $1 or a Patreon at $1 a month, you have access to a monthly Zoom call where we get on and we just talk about whatever. I'll give you some information that I know. We may talk about show notes. We may talk about how the channel's performing, all kinds of fun like that. So that's if you are a member here, just at $1 a month. Also, over on Patreon, I have posted a ton of videos over there where I break down chapter by chapter several Star Wars books. We've done, because of popular demand, not because of Santa, but because of popular demand, we did Darth Plagueis, and then we jumped into the Thrawn trilogy. And so if you'd like to support the channel, I'm trying to create content exclusive to Patreon over there where you guys can support the channel. So thank you for that. Hey, look here. Star Wars Mania. I wish Tim Zahn was in the writer's room with Dave. Yes. I know that, and we'll talk about this as well. There was a great video by Generation Tech. Alan, he covered the topic perfectly. If you haven't seen Generation Tech's video about Thrawn should be an anti-hero, not a villain, go catch that. He has all the discussion spot on. I couldn't say it better. So just go watch Generation Tech. He's perfect, absolutely word for word, spot on. So go catch that. But yeah, I am concerned that Dave Filoni is going to misrepresent Thrawn and make him into somebody that at least Timothy Zahn did not create him to be. So that's that. What else? Oh, I told you there was a story. So last night, laying in bed, going to sleep, my phone rings. My dad. Many of you know that a little over a year ago, August 8th of last year, my dad was hit by a car, severely injured, and put into ICU in the hospital. He spent 2 months in the hospital before he could get home and begin his recuperation at home. Well, last night, he calls me at almost midnight and says, Brian, this is the last phone call I wanted to make. My truck has broke down. He bought a new truck. He hauls Amish around. You guys may know that. And he stays busy. He left at 3 o'clock yesterday morning and was driving everywhere. Drove down to southern Indiana with these Amish and was carrying them around and getting stuff, and was on his way back just north of Cincinnati, Ohio. Broke down, midnight. I got to get up out of bed, drive all the way down to Cincinnati, pick him up with a whole family of Amish, uh, hook up to the trailer they had, and bring him home. So I didn't get home until after 4:30 this morning, and then work. So it's going to be a day. It's going to be quite a day for me. But Dad is he's doing fairly well. He's not up to full strength, but just so you all know, he's still getting in trouble, and just to start another war, because what do you do on social media but fight, right? So you guys, I'm going to start a fight. I don't know how many of you I'm going to fight with, but here we go. My dad drives Fords, and his Fords are always breaking down. I drive a Chevy, and my Chevy is always going to pick up a trailer, put his Ford on the trailer, and carry it around. So I always give Dad a hard time about driving those Fords, and the best way you can drive a Ford is on the trailer being pulled by a Chevy. And so I gave him a hard time about all that. If you guys are Ford owners, I tell him you should ask AAA if they have a Ford owner policy with unlimited tows. If Ford owners should have a different policy with AAA where they can be towed everywhere they need to go, and they can pretend to drive their trucks because their trucks don't really go. It's very funny. If you guys are Ford owners and that makes you mad, I'm sorry. No, I'm only a little bit sorry because I give Dad a hard time about it. I haze him all the time, and it makes me happy to haze him about pulling his Ford on a trailer. And the Amish last night said your dad should just pull a trailer everywhere he goes, so that when he breaks down, you could just put it on the trailer. So that's Dad. You guys, thanks for hanging out here while I talk about all that nonsense. We'll get to Star Wars. That's why you're here. You're here to talk about Star Wars, not Ford trucks and the unreliability of Ford trucks. I know somebody's going to listen to this and just be livid, but because people people are loyal to their brands, and there are people who are absolute Ford diehards. So, hey, Darth Elvis, good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you all. Kendall, good to see you as well. Will Morgan, not a Chevy dude, but those new Colorados look sweet. Yeah. Look, new 1-ton trucks, Ford, Chevy, Dodge. They're a mortgage. Those things are close to $100,000 U.S. to buy new. It's absolutely insane. So there you go. There you go. We're going to talk about predictions. We're going to talk about predictions today for the Ahsoka series, and there's a couple things. Thank you, Ducky Momo. Yes, get those likes in. Thank you. Do those things. It helps the channel. And your chat in the stream also quite helpful. Always figured Santa was a Hot Wheels guy. Yes, there's I don't want to start it. Anyway, very good, very good. We have predictions, and this year I've kind of changed things up. We're trying to keep it fresh and not get too repetitive. And I've added some things here and changed some things. So let's talk about it. For the series, I have a predictions sheet here where you can think of what might happen through the series. What about those Dodge trucks, Santa? Well, we had a Dodge Ram 3500 1-ton for years. It was very reliable. It was a great truck for us. But then Chrysler Dodge was bought by Fiat. So now it's Fiat Chrysler of America, FCA. And I'm not a big fan of the Fiat company. We had a little issue, and they basically told me, go pound sand, go away. And I said, well, that's not nice. I'm just going to go buy a Chevy. They said, good, shoo, I summarized, but that's basically it. So now I'm a Chevy owner. Used to be a Dodge guy. Um, Peter Griffin, there he goes. Ford Life, 200K miles. Chevy, 300K miles. Toyota, 1 million and still going. You know what's funny is here in the U.S. They don't have 1-ton vehicles in any of the other brands. So Nissan or Mercedes, some of these places that make big trucks over in other parts of the world that are very reliable in other parts of the world don't exist here in the U.S. So um, yeah. uh, all right. So we're doing some predictions for the season. Now, if you want to play along, this is just a fun game we play. But you know what happens? At the end of the season, if you have more correct predictions than Santa, I send you some Star Wars Santa merch. I pay for it. I ship it. You get free Star Wars Santa merch. We have some folks here in the community who have won some of this merch because they get more correct than Santa. Right, Ducky? Right? Right? uh, yeah, so if you get more correct than Santa, then you can win some Star Wars Santa merch. And I'll ship it to you. And so this time I'm doing the season predictions as bonus points. These are just bonus that get added to the end of the season. If you need, if you're just a point down or two from Santa, the bonus point can maybe push you over the top. So that's Nikki. I'm scared to give these a try again. Yeah, some people are really good at predictions. Some people, like Nikki, not so good. Not so good. But it's fun. We have fun, and I love to tease. Yes, Santa will besmirch you. That's what I do. I get on, and you make really bad predictions. I make fun of you. It's just how it goes, and then you get the joy of being hazed on YouTube. It's great. And when are these due? They're due before the show airs tonight. So if you get your season predictions in, they have to be in before episode 1 tonight. And these will be held in reserve until the very end, right? So let's go through here. I'll tell you how this works. I put some rules and some examples in here to try to help folks a little bit. There are 3 questions. And on this, you can fill in the blank, any prediction you want. You have 3 chances to earn points. And I've broken the points into different categories. If you want to play it safe, you want to play it easy, well, you can copy and paste one of these. Hold on. You can copy and paste one of these give me points. Like Ahsoka will light her sabers. I'll give you 1 bonus point at the end of the season. Chopper will be sassy because Chopper's going to chopper. That's what he's going to do. You can just copy him in, get a point. It's great. And then at the end of the season, you'll get at least 3 points added on. If you want to take just a little bit more risk, you can go with things that were leaked or that you saw with your own eyeballs, right? So or that are fairly safe. So like on these, I'm being very generous. Like we won't see Thrawn in the first 3 episodes. Well, that's been a leak. We'll see a new variant of Stormtrooper. This is another leak. So you'll see there, Ezra will be found. You can just guess that, right? Ezra's going to be found at some point. Lost Wolves will be in this episode, or in the series. We haven't seen Lost Wolves in the trailers. We haven't even gotten a real solid, like, when or if Lost Wolves will be there. And so you can get 5 points. The 10-pointers, these are the ones more with more risk comes more reward. You could make 3 10-pointer kind of guesses and get 0 points. So you got to be careful. Do you got to be a member? No, you don't. Worlds of Sci-Fi, you can get the links to these predictions forms in the discussion here or in the description here. I also put them in the very top of the chat. So if you open the description of this live stream, you will see all three predictions forms. This is the first one for the season. You don't have to be a member to fill it out. You don't have to be a member to win. In fact, you can just have fun, play the game. You know what else happens is if you beat Santa on any given week, I put your name on the scroll for the show, and you can see your own name on the Star Wars Santa show. So that you could do that as well. Again, you don't have to be a member to play the game. So the hard ones here are things that we've had no leaks, no rumors, no trailers for. These are just wild speculation guesses, not wild speculation. These are just guesses out of your head that seem reasonable. So I put in here a specific cameo of someone we haven't heard or seen in any leaks, trailers, or news stories. So if there isn't, like the example that I put in my own prediction for me, I put Zeb will be in the series. It's somewhat reasonable to think that Zeb would be. He was from Rebels. He's part of the Ghost crew. We saw him in Mandalorian season 3, but we've not seen a rumor. We've not seen him in a trailer. We've not seen in a news story where Zeb will be in it. So there's a 10-pointer, right? If he shows up. If he doesn't, so sad, right? You see the skeleton crew, or you could say we'll see Din Djarin, or we'll see Grogu, somebody like that. You'll see Yoda, somebody that we haven't heard a speculation. There's some other folks that we've heard in the rumors and the leaks. If you use those, it jumps it down to a 5-pointer. And I'll give, well, no, I won't, because I know we've got some folks that haven't been listening to any of the leaks. I don't want to give them away. So there you go. That's the kind of thing you can do. Nikki, we better not see Grogu. Nikki, don't say anything like that. Because the minute you say that, then that's what's going to happen. You know, that's how this works, is and what I can see happening. And this is, brace yourself, right? We saw Ahsoka in season 2 of Mandalorian. And she was with Luke and Grogu and Din. We could see that scene, the same scene, in the Ahsoka series in setting up episode 1. Right? It could be the same scene where they're introducing Ahsoka in like a montage in the first, say, 5 minutes of the show. And boom, there's Grogu. Just saying. It could happen. It could happen. So, oh yeah, Matt GPT. Yeah, Pelimoto. Pelimoto or we riot. I don't know. Yeah, Grogu's got a Grogu. Disney's got to make the money. Yeah, exactly. So you guys get the idea. So that's how you can earn 10 points. And again, you get 3 guesses. So if you want to put 3 10-pointer guesses in there, you could earn 30 points in predictions. Then there's the wild speculation. Now, the wild speculation, these are the ones that come out of the tinfoil hats, right? We all have our tinfoil hats that we like to put on from time to time and come up with the wildest ideas. And the first one on here, Hondo or we riot. Nerd Mafia. I'm with you there, my friend. I'm with you. It says the Grisk will be mentioned, or Thrawn will say something about them like a bigger threat is out there. I copied that. That's mine. That if you want to copy it, you can take the 25-point bet too. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I don't have any information on it. Not from any leaks, not from any insiders, nothing. I can't say that. So I don't know. So the Grisk will be mentioned. That would be a 25-pointer. This Ghost Crew reunion scene with Hera, Jason, Ezra, Sabine, Zeb, and Chopper all together. That's Jason Ward's. I asked Jason, if you had to come up with a 25-point wild speculation, what would yours be? Now, you guys, if you've been around, you know Jason Ward doesn't do so good on these. He's like Nikki in doing these predictions. He's not so good at it. but he still plays. We still have fun. So there's that. This is Jason's. The third one, Morok, that Inquisitor guy. People are like, oh, Morok's gonna be Ezra. Morok's gonna be what's her name from the Clone Wars that trained with Ahsoka. Oh shoot, my brain just went. Nikki, I knew you were going to be triggered by that. When I said it, I thought, oh, Nikki's gonna get me for that one. Sorry about that. But yeah, there's all these rumors that Morok's going to be this person or that person. I put the Darth Plagueis one in there because I like to troll people, and Morok is actually Darth Plagueis. What or some other unlikely character? Yeah, Barasafi. Barasafi, that's it. Yeah, Morok is going to be Barasafi. Morok is really going to be Ezra in disguise. Morok is Luke Skywalker. No, I don't know. Whatever you want. If you're wrong, you get 0 points. If you're right, 25 points. You can make it anybody you want. And then this one here, the one that our friends over at EBN and lots of folks out there want, is someone goes into the world between worlds and changes history, i.e. retcon the sequels. So if you want to make that your wild speculation guess, go for it. If you're wrong, you get 0 points. But you're free to do whatever you put anything in there you want. So all you need to do is tell us who you are and put your predictions in. At the end of he's clearly Snoke. Yeah, Morok is Snoke. I love it. Do it. Morok is Palpatine. Somehow he came back. Yes, have fun with it and get 0 points. That's all fine. Yeah. Jason. Hey, Trinity said it, Nikki. I didn't say it. Go chase down Trinity. Go chase down Trinity. So here, let me show you. This is the predictions sheet here, and so you have to give us your name. Somebody filled one of these out and they didn't give us a name. You see there? So it says the Inquisitor is a play on Starkiller, Galen Merrick. Oh, I like that. That's good fun. So, but they didn't give us a name. Make sure you give us your name and then your guesses. So just so you can see what we kind of have in here. These are my guesses. I tried to put a 5, 10, and 25 pointer in my guesses. So first one, we'll see a new variant of Stormtrooper. That's from a leak, right? We expect that to happen. In fact, I'm quite confident. So I'm going to get 5 points. Then I went with my prediction number 2 was that we will see Ashley Eckstein in an episode or more as some other character or whatever, right? It just recognizable as Ashley. Not wearing a costume as an alien, not wearing Stormtrooper armor where you can't tell who she is, but you'll see her like we saw Matt Lanter. I've been sharing this example. Matt Lanter, the voice of Anakin Skywalker through the Clone Wars animated series. Matt Lanter showed up in The Mandalorian in that prison break scene on the prison ship. He was the New Republic officer guarding that ship. And they go into the command room and they end up killing him. That was Anakin. That was Matt Lanter. I think that we might see Ashley Eckstein in a role sort of like that. Sort of like when you see you see the Balin and Shin going through the hallway. Balin's, choking people out and whatnot. Ashley could be, running down the hall with an ice cream maker. You don't know. I don't know. If she does, Santa gets 25 points, just like that. It could be a lot of fun. And if she doesn't, Santa gets 0. This is a 10-pointer, right? This is a 10-pointer that Ashley Eckstein that goes in this, right? A specific cameo That's a specific cameo. That'd be a 10-pointer, right? So it's not as Ahsoka necessarily, but just like a Matt Lanter kind of thing. You know, we've had a tradition of that in Star Wars. We had George Lucas in one. We've had, of course, Dave Filoni and Deborah Chow and Rick Famuyiwa, and all these folks. Even John Williams has been in Star Wars, right? All these folks that you can see, and we know that Ashley came to the set and saw Rosario fully done up as Ahsoka, and that they met and they talked. And I think if Ashley's there, why not say, "Hey, put this hat on and run through carrying the ice cream maker"? I don't know. It could be a lot of fun, right? So, Nikki, she is on the channel Salty Inferno. But if you guys haven't caught Nikki over on Salty Inferno, her and Felicity, they do a great show where they're salty. That's what they do. It's a really good. I enjoy their a lot of their videos. Anakin, hello. Good to see you here. So that's my 10-point. I put a 5-point guess in. We'll see a new variant of Stormtrooper. I put a 10-point in. Ashley will be in an episode or more. We'll just see her. And then the third one is my 25-point. So I have a possibility here of 40 bonus points. Wow, that's pretty cool. I may get 5. We'll see. Right? I know I'm going to get 5, but I could get 40. That'd be cool. So we'll see. You could see some other people put in guesses. Then they don't have to. You could put, like I said before, you can put 3 1-pointers in. Just copy and paste them from the easy that I put in the examples, right? You could put 3 of the mediums in and get 15. It doesn't have to be 5, 10, 25. Doesn't have to be 1, 5, 10. Whatever you want to put in, you can put in your predictions. And at the end, the Katana fleet. Look at Daryl. Yes. I love that answer, Daryl. You can put that in. We'll see the Katana fleet. Oh, that would be great. And if it's right, you can get points. See how that works? That'd be great. So you guys got the idea. That's the first prediction form. It's for the season. And we're going to save those. At the end of the season, we'll go through and we'll tally up the points and we'll add them to your point totals. And every week, for every episode, we have episode predictions. So you'll see here, this is season 1, episode 1 predictions. If you get more correct than Santa on one of these episodes, you'll go into the scroll bar at the bottom as on the wall of fame for the entire week until the next episode. So you got this chance, and then every week your points accumulate. So there's 8 episodes, 8 predictions, plus the bonus. If you get more correct through all of those combined than Santa, you get Star Wars Santa merch. Not on a week by week basis. You don't beat me one week and get merch. You got to beat me for the season and get merch, right? So that's it. Sabersmith, I just heard my student say, "I want that Santa merch. I will win." There you go. I love the attitude. That's fantastic. I will win. This requires you to speculate responsibly, because the irresponsible speculation is good fun, but you can lose. Right? You can get zeros. You got to be smart about it, right? You got to be smart. So the episode predictions. This has a little bit different format as well. In the past, we had 19 yes and no questions with one bonus question that you can get 1 bonus point. So you can get 20 points. I've changed it up. Here we got now, there are 10 yes and no questions. And these are fairly common Star Wars kind of things. The idea is, this is Star Wars, right? This is Star Wars. These things happen in Star Wars, right? Yeah, KG. KG is one of our winners. She has some Star Wars Santa merch. Yeah, it requires some strategy. Right. Got to think about it. Yeah. Yeah, keep the irresponsible speculation over on Meta Egg. By the way, Will Morgan released a short today that's fantastic. Did you know that Dave Filoni learned about the world between worlds concept from Jon Favreau? Go check out Meta Egg. He'll tell you all about it. There you go. How about that? So these are Star Wars things, right? Star Wars things. Someone will say, "May the Force be with you." If that happens in the episode and you said yes, you get a point. So these are most of these are real easy, right? Someone will be killed, a non-droid. It could be a generic trooper. It could be a citizen, a pilot, a named character. Somebody gets shot. Somebody gets blown up. They're dead. You get a point, right? And it says even if it's a piloted ship, so you see like a TIE fighter and it gets blown up, unless you specifically see the pilot of that TIE fighter survive, he's dead, right? So that's you get a point. A droid will be referred to by name. We know Chopper's in the series. We've seen him in the trailer. You can. Oh, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and fill this out because I haven't done mine yet. Right? So I'll just show you how this works. Put Star Wars Santa. Someone will say, "May the Force be with you." Yeah, I think so. Someone's going to get killed in episode 1. Yep, I think so. A droid Chopper. We're going to see Chopper in episode 1. Not sure. I've heard the rumors. I know he's in episode 2, just from the trailers and what I've heard. Is Chopper in episode 1? Episode 1. And will they call him by name? Hey, Chop, right? That kind of idea. I'm going to say yes. Why not? A ship will fire upon another ship. I would say yes. So this can be in atmosphere, in space. An X-wing shoots on a TIE fighter. A TIE fighter shoots on a cargo ship. Anything. Then you get the point. It has to be ship to ship, not ship to ground. Anything like that. It's ship to ship, right? Nick. Hey, Nick's got to go. Thanks for hanging out with us, Nick. Appreciate it. We'll see the inside of a hyperspace tunnel. That's a Star Wars thing. Say yes. Yes, I think so. Lightsabers will cross between different combatants. We're going to have a lightsaber fight. You know, unlike we saw in The Last Jedi in that throne room scene, right? The throne room scene in The Last Jedi is a great lightsaber duel, not even a lightsaber duel. I think it's a great scene where they use lightsabers, but we don't see them fighting like lightsaber to lightsaber. And so in this case, are we going to have lightsaber fights like Ahsoka versus Balin, or Morok versus Ahsoka, or anything like that, right? As long as it's two combatants against each other, then you get a point. If Ahsoka crosses her own blades, and that doesn't count, right? It's got to be combatants, two different people. What if Ahsoka is training Sabine with lightsabers? That counts. That counts. It's two different people combating, right? Not to the death, but for training. That would count. So I'm going to say yes. 7, a named character from another show, movie, book, or comic appears. So I gave some examples. Din Djarin, Mon Mothma, Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, Anakin, Fennec Shand, Eli Vanto. If you read the books, you know who Eli Vanto is. These would be people that you could get a bonus point if they show up in the episode. No points are awarded for our Rebels crew. So Ahsoka, Chopper, Hera, Jason, Sabine, Zeb, Morgan Elsbeth. I added her because she's part of the show. She's the main character of the show. Thrawn doesn't count, right? But it's somebody else. I'm going to say yes on this for the same reason I told Nikki. You might see Grogu in episode 1. Episode 1. Remember, I think so. Someone will use the Force. Observable kind of Force use, not just somebody saying, like, you know, Anakin was flying pod racers. We know he used the Force for the reaction times that he had. But you can't say that would not count. That would not count. It has to be somebody doing a Force push, a Force choke, Force pulling something to themselves, like Luke Skywalker there on Hoth pulling his lightsaber to himself, something like that. Even somebody appearing as a Force ghost. That's a Force, somebody using the Force to create a Force ghost. Deflecting blaster bolts, like we saw in Kylo Ren do, right, with his hand. Like anything like that, they could, or Darth Vader when on Cloud City, right, puts his hand up and blocks the blaster bolts. That all counts. If you see somebody piloting really well, or say just sitting on a stone meditating, no, that doesn't count, right? So there's that. So I will say somebody using Force, yes. A flashback scene. This should be clarified that it can be a vision in a dream where they're having a nightmare and they see something. It could be a true flashback scene, like the flashback to scenes in in a Book of Boba Fett. Flashback to, you know what that is. Or it could be a world between worlds kind of thing where they see a scene through there. Or it could just be a memory, right? So a flashback scene will be seen in the episode. You know, I'm just saying yes to all of them. As it looks, Santa's going chalk here. Is that what you'd say? Santa's going chalk. Just all yeses. So any of those would count, and you would get a point. The question 10: a species or droid speaks in another language with subtitles to translate. It's in-show, on-screen subtitles, right? Not using your built-in closed captioning, but it actual on-screen. You hear another language, like let's say a Java or whatever, and they put the actual words underneath, or who knows? Maybe they have a hut, and it speaks Huttese, and they put it on there. You would get a point. So I'll say yes. Actually, I'm going to say no to that one. I'm going to say no to one question. And then this bonus. Again, we're doing this a little bit different than we ever have before. I've got 3 categories. No points are awarded for anything that's not in show, right? So, like episode runtime, this episode's longer than the last episode. This episode will be shorter than the last episode. Somebody, I'll like this episode, or Santa will dislike this. Anything like that, no points. Negative predictions, meaning something won't happen, or you won't see something, right? Like Luke Skywalker will not be in this episode, right? Or Jabba the Hutt will not be in this episode, or Emperor Palpatine will not be in this episode. Those are zeros, all zeros, right? So no points for those. Or something will not happen, right? Like Ahsoka will not see Anakin's Force Ghost. 0 points for those. So just to give you an idea, you can't do those kind of guesses. I will give 1 point. This is different than before. I will give 1 point for the gimmies. Like Ahsoka will light her sabers. 1 point. There you go. RF gaming. Exactly. You can't predict Santa will laugh more than 5 times. No, you can't do that. But you could do 1-pointers, like Ahsoka will light her sabers. Chopper's going to be in it. The Ghost. Like you can see a list here. Something that comes from a trailer, like you saw it in the trailer, or a TV spot, one of those kind of things. We've seen it with our eyeballs before the episode airs. That's a 1-pointer. A leaked scene from Making Star Wars or Bestman Bulletin. I got their permission to use their names here, right? If you get a leaked story point from them, or they've reported it, even if you didn't get it from them, you say, well, I didn't go there and I just guessed it. Still too bad, right? If they reported it before the episode and it happens, it's only a 1-pointer, right? So that's how that's going to work. And you can see here some examples, again, not limited to these examples, but they're just give you some ideas. And then we have 5-pointers. 5-pointers are your real predictions, like things that you're just guessing are going to happen. Like a specific cameo appearance not seen in a trailer. And I gave this, Zeb will be seen in this episode. That would be 5 points if he was there. We visit a specific planet. I put on here Wayland, or you could put in Tatooine, or, because they love to use Tatooine. They've got those, they've got those assets. They can use them easily. You could put Tatooine will be in this episode. You could get a point. A specific character says a specific phrase, like Ahsoka says, "May the Force be with you." You can get 5 points. Or a specific unexpected action happens. I gave an example. Ahsoka flies an X-wing. We don't know we've never seen Ahsoka fly an X-wing. We don't have any leaks, rumors that she would fly an X-wing. I just made it up out of my head. You could get 5 points if she did it. And then the last one would be the positive. I put the negative up here as a 0 pointer, right? Ahsoka will not see Anakin's Force Ghost. In this one, it's Ahsoka will see Anakin's Force Ghost. If it happened in that episode, you could get 5 points. So there you go. So you're saying I can report a whole lot of stuff and gain them points. If you can get Jason to write it, and then he can take points away from people. That's just rude. I was hazing him and giving Bespin a hard time. Like, hey, I heard this thing's happening. Do not report it. I need you to not report the thing because I want my points. And if you report it, you're going to take points away from me. So that'd be mean. Don't do that. So those are things you can guess. So for my 5 point or my guess for episode one, I'm actually no, you can't say Moff Gideon will not be in the episode. No, you can't say those things. But I am going to put one on here that I had been guessing for months, but now it's already been given. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in here. Ryder Azadi will be in the episode. That's only a 1 pointer because it leaked, right? So I just submit it. Right? I've got all my questions in. I'm going to submit my season 1, episode 1. That'll be tonight. You can find the link to this form in the description here. You can also find it on Discord and Patreon, all the socials. So for episode 2, same thing. You don't forget to do both. You got to put your predictions for both. Someone will say, "May the Force be with you." I'm just going to go down. It's really hard when they do these 2-episode premieres. Like, I don't have any context leading into the episode. I don't know exactly where we are. So I'm just going to go with a bunch of yeses again. And we'll see how it goes. I'm going to be right or I'm going to be wrong. I don't know. I'm going to say no there. How about that? Lightsabers, yes. I just changed one to change one. Now watch me. This is what happens when you take a quiz, kiddos. Right? If you want to get points, you answer all like B B B B B B B B B. If you go A B A B A B A B A B, you could be missing back and forth. Right? So you're supposed to do straight down the line guesses. That's a quiz hack for you. If you don't know the answers, just guess like all B. A character from another show appears episode 2, like Mon Mothma. She counts. I'm going to say yes. Someone uses the Force. Yes. Flashback scene. I'm going to say yes. Another language. I'm going to say yes. How about that? And then in my fill in the blank for episode 2 tonight we get this episode 2. What's a good fill in the blank for tonight, episode 2? Oh, I'm gonna put it's probably only a 1 pointer, but I'm gonna put in we will see a loth cat. How about that? Sure. I mean, they're loft cats. We've seen it in the trailer. I'll take a point. Just one. Look, you can beat Santa. All you have to do is get a 5-pointer. Get it correct. Or you guess for 5 and get 0. It's up to you. You do your thing. We'll see how it goes. So that's how the predictions work. We will then grade them on Wednesday during the our rewatch breakdown show. It'll be the normal time, like 12 o'clock Eastern, 12:30 Eastern. We'll come on. We'll go through the episode. We'll go through your predictions for episode 1, episode 2, and we'll start scoring them and see if you guys can make it onto the Wall of Fame. Just to give you an idea what that looks like, too. Like I've got this Wall of Fame here. This was for the season. We had some winners last season. This is what it looks like. KG, there she is. SWL and Baymax were our big winners the last show. So for an entire week, if you want to play the predictions game, you can get your name put on the Wall of Fame. Sometimes the Wall of Fame's quite long. Sometimes, straight to the point. We've had times where there were none. But that's what it looks like. And for the duration of my shows, the entire week between episodes, I'll put your name on the scroller. You can see your name listed here on the Wall of Fame. And to reiterate, you don't even have to be a channel member to do so. How about that? Should have picked episode 1 for the Loft Cat. Yeah, I'm probably wrong. You're probably right. You're probably right. I may rethink that. My answer might change before tonight. I may have to change my answer before tonight because the Loft Cat, Matt, you're right. Like I should have picked the Loft Cat in episode 1. Episode 2. Hey, look at that. Baymax gave us a real-time update. The Ghost, the Vintage Collection Ghost, the HasLab project, is just hit 11,000. They unlocked the Ezra Bridger figure for the Ghost. If it hits 17,000, we get all the figures unlocked, and I think it'll make it. It's running behind where the Ghost was, or the Razor Crest was, but it's doing quite well. I think it will get there, right? All right. So, any questions you guys have? I am so excited for tonight's episodes. I know I've still got to run my dad down to get his truck once I get it running. I've got some things to get done today, and of course my job. I've got that. But 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. for you Pacific Coast folks, and adjust for your time zone. I am so excited. And as I mentioned at the top of the show, I think Generation Tech, Alan did a fantastic job of expressing the concerns about Thrawn for this season for me. Really concerned. And just to tell you guys, if any show was going to disappoint Santa and put me in a real foul mood, it would be this one. Ahsoka is my favorite character in all of Star Wars. When you put them all together, the books, the movies, the animation, everything. Ahsoka is my top in all of Star Wars. And then second, for me, Thrawn is my favorite anti-hero. My favorite, when you talk about protagonists and antagonists, Thrawn is one of my favorite, or is my favorite of all time, from the novels specifically. Back in the day, I was into back in the day, I was a huge Heir to the Empire fan. It's all we had for more than a decade. It's the only thing we got in between the original trilogy and the prequels of any substance. And there were other things. Don't get me wrong. There were other things, but the Heir to the Empire series for me was my sequel trilogy for the biggest portion of that time, and always been a Thrawn fan. Then the new novels that have come out in the last few years are absolutely wonderful. I love them. I'm really excited that Timothy Zahn has said there's 10 more years of his story that he could write. I would love to see more Thrawn novels. In fact, I've made this kind of prediction. I think that we could very well see, if they go with the Timothy Zahn version of Thrawn, we could very well end up with uh, Thrawn seeing the decimation of the Empire, and there's a bigger threat of the Grisk. When we meet him, he's trying to get back to the Empire and wants to step into the role where Palpatine left a vacancy. In fact, in the Thrawn novel, he's confronted and says, "Don't you see the evil that is the Empire?" And he says, "Yes, but there are other evil out there that are far more dangerous, that are intent on destruction. And the Emperor will die someday. And when he does, somebody needs to be positioned to step into those shoes and lead from a place of light, a place of good, and justice and peace." And one of the reasons that he is moving up the chains in the Empire, one of the reasons he has worked himself to Grand Admiral, is so that when Palpatine would die, he would be situated to step in to lead the Empire and protect the galaxy against the evil that is the Grisk, and turn the Empire into a force for good. That's what his goals are, as you read through the novels. If that's the case, and he has seen that the Emperor is dead, he may be intent on stepping back. And we heard Ahsoka say, as heir to the Empire. We could see him wanting to step in to lead the Empire to a place of strength. Hey, Brian Stone, got to get back to work. Thank you so much, Brian. Appreciate you being here. So if he sees that, and he sees Mon Mothma's trying to demilitarize, and how fractured the Moths are from the Empire, he could very well want to step into that, and that makes him the antagonist to the show. Is he evil? No. Is he wanting to reestablish the Empire and do away with the New Republic? Yes. Right? So we could very well see that. And in the end, we could see him return, and now he is going to try to exert his will upon the people. If that sets us up for a Mandalorian season 4, where they're fighting against Thrawn here. We've got Mandalorians fighting against him. We've got a divided remnant of the Empire. We've got the New Republic, different forces trying to fight Thrawn, and that becomes the foundation underneath Mandalorian season 4. Then that sets us up for the movie, that Dave Filoni's movie, where the Grisk, that threat that he's been warning of, actually happen. And we see a huge invasion upon the Empire, the New Republic, the whole thing, right? We see this big invasion force. Of war is truly on between the Grisk and all the people. And that could be your movie event, culminating all the things from Mandalorian, Ahsoka, and Skeleton Crew, all these things, right? Pull them all together into a big culminating event, battling the Grisk. Then that would determine the end of Thrawn's involvement with the Empire, whether he's killed or goes back to the Ascendancy. And it sets up for the New Republic, those Moffs, everybody to be so fractured that it leaves room for the First Order to come in. So there's that. So that's what could happen. That's what I would love to see happen. Mumbo Jimbo. Oh, thank you for the super chat, my friend. Mumbo Jimbo, longtime supporter of the channel. Thank you so much. I can't wait to experience Ahsoka with Santa in this community. Thank you so much. I hope this one specifically is going to be great. I trust in Filoni. You know, Mumbo Jimbo, for all the concerns I have that he is going to get Thrawn wrong, and I suspect that he will, and that I'll be unhappy with the portrayal of Thrawn. I think that I'm set up to be very upset with that. I still trust Dave Filoni to tell a good, compelling story, whether it's the version of Thrawn I want to see or not. You got to realize the vast majority of Star Wars fans, people who enjoy watching Star Wars, will tune in to watch it on Disney Plus. They have no idea who Thrawn is. They're clueless. They don't know. He's a bad guy? Fine. He comes in, he's evil? Sure. They don't know. He's got glowy red eyes. Of course he's evil. They don't know. So if that's what happens and he tells the story, I'll be upset that it's not the Thrawn I wanted. But at the end of the day, I'll be able to come to terms that it's the story Dave wanted to tell. And so I trust him as well. That's just my personal feeling on it. Ducky, I got a bad feeling Thrawn will lose a game of chess to the Martez sisters. Yeah, that would certainly make all of us go to bed and have to cry ourselves to sleep. What do you think about the Legacy of Force series that focus on the Solo kids and Ben Skywalker? The Legacy of the Force series, I've watched bits of it. It's not something that I've gotten really involved in. Or do you mean the old, on the Solo kids? Are you talking about the old Young Jedi series? There's like 12 books in this series, and it focuses on Luke's academy. The Solo kids are in there. Is that the one you mean? Because I read into that, and I got about, I think it's the third book in, and guess what? Somehow Palpatine's back. they run into Palpatine. About the third book, he's come back. Real Ben says, I'm going to be really happy with this portrayal, but I understand where people might be upset. Yeah, fair enough. Give me a compelling story. I'm in. Yes. Hey, for Coachella, he's another one of our big winners on the channel. So excited. Me too. Absolutely. What about Thrawn and Rebels? Did you like him there? I got really, so I didn't read the books and watch Rebels like real close together. I was a late comer to Rebels, and I binged through all of it. And then I read the books, and I'm like, this is different. I'm not remembering him well enough from Rebels, I suppose. So I went back, and I recently on Patreon, I broke down the books and linked them directly to the Rebels episodes that they tie into. The 3 books from the Thrawn trilogy, Timothy Zahn had the scripts to Rebels as he wrote those books. And you can see direct tie-ins throughout the series. And for most of it, they work really well together. What got me upset was the Rebels series finale, when Thrawn and Ezra get space whaled away. Thrawn comes in, and it goes right after the end of Thrawn Treason. Thrawn arrives. It's right after the epilogue to that book. And in that Rebels finale, they separate out the Empire prisoners, the Imperial prisoners, from the general population, and Thrawn starts bombing civilians. And that, to me, made me angry. I was like, no. Thrawn never would bomb civilians. In fact, he got quite angry at Governor Price, for killing civilians. He worked tirelessly throughout all the novels to protect civilians, innocents, those who were unarmed, non-combatants. He worked really hard. Even people that treated him poorly. And again, Generation Tech. Go watch Alan's video on Thrawn. He covers it perfectly. But people who tried to end his career, people who tried to hurt him, people who fought with him, he actually found a situation to put them into a career path where they succeeded. I mean, he's not about vengeance. He's not about seeking revenge or retaliation against anyone. He's always seeking for the best outcome and training people up. People can get fired. People can get pushed away. He certainly has a standard he maintains, but he builds a lot of loyalty because of just how well he treats people. And bombing civilians is not something Thrawn would do. And that upsets me. And that makes me realize that Dave Filoni is most certainly not going to give me the version of Thrawn that I enjoy. But, it's the way it is. It's the way it is. Hey, the show's 81% in Rotten Tomatoes. Not that Rotten Tomatoes counts for anything, but that's a nice thing to see. Casuals that watch season 2 of The Mandalorian would have heard the name, if only briefly. They might have done the same research. Yeah, exactly. They may have some idea. I want to see Hondo in live action so badly. Me too. I was hoping we would see Hondo already. There's been opportunities where he would have fit into the story. In fact, I wanted to see him in the Bad Batch, and he's not been in the Bad Batch. And I'm like, come on, give us more Hondo. More Hondo is always a good thing. Mumbo Jimbo, I'm so done with Palpatine. I don't care what it is. I'm just done with him. Fair enough. Fair enough. It's time to move on, right? Ahsoka hype. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Generation Tech's video on Thrawn was perfect. Exactly. Thank you. The Hollywood Reporter's review of the show is one of the worst reviews I've ever read. Oh, I don't think I've read the Hollywood Reporter's. And Roland, I agree with that, Santa. Tim Zahn's new portrayal in the novel was great at showing how he gained respect, remarkably smart, as well as the old Heir trilogy too. Exactly. I am ready for Ahsoka. Me too. Oh, I'm so excited for Ahsoka. I can't wait. Thank you all for hanging out with me here today. We've gone through the predictions. Hey, if you want to have fun, play along in the predictions game, we'd love to have you join. You don't have to be a channel member to play. You don't have to be a channel member to win. The links to the predictions are in the description here. They're due by 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, and adjust for your time zone from wherever that is. As long as you get them in before the episode drops on Disney Plus, we'll count them. And you could show up on the Wall of Fame. You could win some Star Wars Santa merch. Again, membership is optional. But if you'd love to support the channel, the best way you could support any content creator, and whoever that is on Patreon. YouTube takes a lot of money from your content creators. They take your money from the content creator when you support them. Patreon takes much less. So if you want to support your content creator to try to get the kind of content you enjoy watching, the kind of communities you enjoy being involved in, Patreon is absolutely the best place. Best Bud Bulletin has a Patreon now. Of course, Making Star Wars has Patreon. I've got one. Star Wars Meg has a Patreon. Sheev the Wise was flirting with the idea of starting a Patreon. So you guys support EBN. I know they have a Patreon as well. So whoever your favorite content creator is, consider supporting them on Patreon. That would be great. And Mike Porter, he's back. And you know what? Santa's on Spotify as well. I am. You can find me on Spotify as well if you want to listen to the show that way. Mike Porter stepped up to the plate again and has given us a Mike Porter dad joke. Star Wars Ahsoka edition. Right, here we go. Did you know that Ahsoka is a problem solver? Well, yeah, she doesn't have a ton of problems. She doesn't have a ton of problems. Very good, Mike Porter. Thank you for that. We love Mike, and you can follow Mike Porter. You can find the link to his Twitter, X, whatever you call that. That's that's there. Does Steve ever pop into your live streams? I've never seen him. The problem that Sheev and I have is we're on opposite ends of this continent. I'm in the Eastern time zone. He's in the Pacific time zone. Both of us have day jobs, much like X-Wing. Right? I could very rarely do a show with X-Wing or with Sheev because they're at work when I'm at lunch, and they are live streaming when I'm in bed. Like they go on 9 p.m. Pacific or 8 p.m. Pacific, and I'm already out. My friend Nerd Mafia, I was just on his show last night, and Star Wars Obsession, I was on his. I would do more shows with Sheev, and I would do shows with X-Wing and those folks if they were in a time zone I could work together with, and vice versa. We've had X-Wing on here. We've had Sheev on here. In fact, I lost a big bet to Sheev. Had to put Vader's lair in my background for an entire week. It was terrible. Oh, that daggone Cad Bane. So we made a Cad Bane bet. So I would love to do a show with them. And on Thursdays, we're going to open them up for community streams. And in there, I've had some folks drop in, some of our friends drop in to talk about Star Wars. So there you go. Just reading your chats. There you go. That's it. We've done it. I can't wait for Ahsoka tonight. I hope you all enjoy it as well. And we'll be back tomorrow, about the same time, to talk about the show and grade, score your predictions, my predictions. How are we going to do? We'll find out tonight. You guys take care. Thank you so much for being here. And until next time, my friends, ho, 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 Merry Christmas. And may the Force be with you always. Bye-bye.